Hello my loves, it's Monica and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm so excited because I'm going to be doing a video that I've been wanting to do for quite a while now, and I've been putting it off for so long because honestly it's a little bit stressful. But today I'm going to be doing a book unhaul. Yes, I have been wanting to downsize a bit of my bookshelves for a while now. I just feel like, you know, they're kind of overflowing as they are, and I definitely have a little bit of a pack rat mentality where I'm just always so afraid to let things go, and I'm trying to be better about that. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm going through my books, gonna get rid of some. My goal is really, so I'm going to be abroad for quite a bit this summer. I'll talk about that in a future video, but I am actually going to be subletting my half of the apartment. My friend Cindy, who some of you may know, is going to be coming and staying here, and I do want to like offer her like at least a good shelf in case she like purchases books or whatever while she's here. And just in general, I've been wanting to do a lot of like spring cleaning and tidying in advance of all of that, so I thought I'd bring you along for that. This might be the beginning of a series, we shall see. Let me know if you're interested in other spring cleaning kind of videos and I will be sure to make those. But yeah, today we're starting with the books. Been wanting to do this for a while. I haven't like unhauled books properly in years, so this should be quite an unhaul. I'm gonna try and be strict with myself and like really make myself actually like let things go, because I definitely struggle with that, where I really struggle to like let books that I've read go, or books that I just know I'm not gonna read. Like I really struggle to just let things go, but I'm trying to be better. And this video is going to be holding me accountable, and then I can donate these locally, which I'm excited for also. So I'm going to bring you along through the process as I pick out the books to get rid of, and then I'll talk about all the books that I'm getting rid of at the end of this video. And definitely if you see a book on here that I'm getting rid of that you're like, no, absolutely not, you have to keep that book, you have to read it, please let me know. Maybe you'll change my mind, or at least get me to get it on like audiobook or ebook or something. So anyways, without further ado, let's dive on in to the unhaul. This is already really difficult. Alright, so I've collected the books that I'm going to be getting rid of. These are the books that I'm unhauling, and I'm going to share them with you all. And yeah, I'm actually surprised that I have so many books. Like, I was not expecting to have this many. I feel really good about myself right now. So let's talk about the books that I'm getting rid of and why I'm getting rid of them. So first up, I have a few comic/graphic novels, and the first one is Aquicorn Cove. Now this is a very adorable book. It is a really lovely graphic novel, very short, and it's about an aquicorn cove. I don't know, it's pretty self-explanatory. There's this family who goes to the shore, and there's like a lot of environmentalist themes in it, which I think is really cool. I liked it. I didn't love it. I didn't like wow me or knock me off my feet. It is adorable though, and I think it would make a really lovely like gift or book for anyone who is like younger. So yeah, I'm just gonna pass this along and hope that it finds a kid out there who will really resonate with it and love it more than, you know, it just sitting on my shelf does for me. Then we have Monstrous. This is a comic series. I've had this first volume for years with the intention of reading it, and I've never read it. So it's just time to let it go. Like, I can't even tell you what it's about. I've had it for that long. Then we have Bloom. This is another graphic novel, and this is really cute. It is a longer one, and it follows the relationship between these two boys, and the one is like the son of a baker, but he has dreams of being in a band. And I enjoyed this. I didn't love it. Again, I thought it was great. I felt like the actual plotting or storytelling, like I wanted a bit more from it, but the art and the story itself was really lovely, so I wouldn't not recommend it. I didn't love it, didn't resonate as much for me, so I'm passing it along. And we have The Prince and the Dressmaker, and I actually really loved this one. I thought it was really very cute. Would highly recommend picking this one up, especially for Pride and for any day of the year. Honestly, it's so adorable if you love like romance and fairy tales, or not fairy tales, but like, yeah, I mean, I guess fairy tales or like royalty, things like that. This is a great one to pick up. I read it already, and I don't think I'm ever going to reread it, so I'd rather pass it along. That's probably going to be a common thread throughout a lot of these, but yeah, I really do love this one and would recommend picking it up. It is truly adorable. Then I have Green Glass House. I think I put this on every winter TBR for like the past 5 years, and I've never finished it. Even though like I'll start it and I'm like, oh yeah, this is really cute, and I just never finish it, and I don't know what that is about, but that's the truth. So I'm just getting rid of it. I simply cannot put this on another winter TBR. If I do ever read it, I'll probably do the audiobook because I own it as an audiobook. But yeah, I don't know. I've heard good things about it. It's like set, it has all the things that I should love. Like it's set, has like a little bit of mystery to it, set at a like inn during Christmas time. It's whimsical. Alas, I just cannot get myself to read it. Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I do still want to read this at some point in my life, but I've had it for years. Like this is literally an arc. I've had this. Has this come out in 20? Yeah, I have had this since 2018 and I haven't read it. That's sad. So I'm passing this along, getting rid of it, getting it out of my sight, because honestly it just depresses me when I look at it. And if I do read it, I'll probably also do this one as an audiobook. The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. I really liked the writing of this book as far as I got into it. I got like about a third of the way through, and then I just like couldn't bring myself to finish it, to be honest. Like, I don't know what it was. I just like got really bored. So, and I really like Stuart Turton's writing. Like I read that, I forget the name of it, but the pirate ship or boat one, I liked that one. I feel like maybe I'll read this one in the future, but I'll do it as an audiobook, and so I just don't feel a huge desire to like hold on to this, especially because I don't feel a huge need to read it right now, or at least anytime in the foreseeable future. So I'm just gonna pass it along. This one is an interesting idea though. Basically our main character has been murdered, and they like keep having to hop into a new body every day to figure out, and like you slowly sort of unravel what's going on. And I like that. I thought that was interesting, but yeah, I simply just could not bring myself to finish it. So here we are. How We Fall Apart. This is Crazy Rich Asians meets One of Us is Lying, and I am still interested to read this one. I'll probably just do it via audiobook. But yeah, I heard that this is, I've heard good things about it, so maybe eventually I'll read it. The Mitford Murders by Jessica Fellows. I didn't like this one, to be honest. I got about a third of the way, halfway through, and I was just so not interested. I don't know if it was just my mental space at the time, but now the whole idea of picking it up just does not interest me at all. But yeah, this is like a 1920s set murder mystery, and it's very much like of that style, and it definitely is very Downton Abbey inspired, which I think makes sense because I think like the writer is like involved with Downton Abbey in some capacity. Then we have Some Kind of Happiness by Claire Legrand. I've never read this, and I just don't think I'm going to. I've had it for a really long time. I've only read one Claire Legrand book, and I did really like it. I haven't felt a desire to pick this up like ever since. I literally bought it and like immediately completely lost interest, unfortunately, in it. So yeah, I'm sure it's a lovely book. Maybe one of you can like yell at me to like not get rid of some of these. I'll believe you. Like if you tell me that I shouldn't get rid of any of these, like I'm easy to persuade. But as of right now, I do think I'm gonna pass this one along. The Glass Town Game. I've just heard really not great things about this one for some reason. I feel like it got really bad reviews and it kind of put me off. But it does sound interesting. You basically follow like a fictionalized version of the Bronte sisters as they like have these adventures. And I believe it's like inspired by like actual stories they wrote in their youth, if I'm remembering correctly. And it's a beautiful book. Like this is like just absolutely stunning, the design. So I am sad to see it go, but I just don't foresee myself reading it right now, to be honest. And some like with especially these middle grade books, I'm like I'd much rather like some 12-year-old out there have these books and be able to read them than for them to just sit there on my shelf and for me to stare at them. All right, this next one is controversial, I think. It's The Mists of Avalon. I did just purchase this. I think I like hauled it in a vlog. I'm getting rid of this one because of things that I've learned about the author. I will say that I am very much of the mindset that like just because an author or creator or whatever is like problematic or is like messed up in some capacity, that they are beyond forgiveness or that you can never consume their art. I think that there's a lot of issues with like literalism and media and how we expect people to consume art that I don't really agree with. However, I feel like everyone has to have a line in the sand, and this author literally committed like horrible atrocities against their own child, and I just feel icky reading it. I will say though that when I did haul this, I was like a little bit taken aback by some of the comments that I got. Specifically, there were a couple that were like, oh yikes, I can't believe you would buy that or you'd support that author. And it's like, guys, sometimes I just walk into a bookstore and I buy a book and I don't Google like every author and their history. And I think I was like just a little bit surprised by that response, because I think like there's a difference between saying like, hey, just a heads up, XYZ, versus like coming out the gate being angry that I would dare buy a book. I don't know. That's just me. Anyways, I'm getting rid of this one. If you want to know the full details about what this author, the issues with this author, feel free to give it a Google. I don't really want to get into it on here just because it can be really upsetting for some people, including myself, to be honest. But yeah, getting rid of this one. Not going to be reading it. But yeah, I don't know. I have, again, mixed feelings. I don't like the word problematic. I don't like the way, to be honest, that the book community uses the word. And I don't like the idea of like just because an author or creator or artist or whatever has like transgressed in some way, that means that their art can never be consumed or that you are a bad person for consuming that art. Like, I don't agree with that mentality at all. And so like if you've read this book and you love it, I'm not making a judgment on you. It's just personally, for me, knowing what I know, I just don't foresee myself ever wanting to pick it up. So that's where I'm at. Next we have The Keeper of Night. I really like this book, actually. If you haven't read it, it's a great like Japanese mixed race fantasy, like, and I really like the way that the author incorporated the mixed race elements into this. I thought it was really interesting, and unlike really anything I've read in fantasy before, when it comes to like, I feel like their like mixed race kind of stuff is pretty common in fantasy, but I feel like the way that Kylie Lee Baker utilized it in this book was very unique. So I really liked that. It's basically about this girl who is a like not undertaker, what's the word, Shinigami and Reaper. So she's half English Reaper, half Japanese Shinigami, and she's on this journey to sort of like understand her heritage, and also she's been like really shunned by the Reapers in England. And yeah, I thought that this book was really good. I just don't foresee myself rereading it, and for that reason I'm letting it go. Okay, these next two I think are going to be controversial also for different reasons. The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. I just couldn't get into this. Maybe again it was like just my mental state at the time. Feel free to let me know. I mean, to be fair, I couldn't get into the 5th season and it took me like 100 pages to like really love it, but I don't know, I feel like I gave this a good try and I didn't connect with this in the same way that I connected with the 5th season, so I'm getting rid of it for that reason. And basically this is like, and the concept of this is really interesting. It's like the 5 boroughs of New York City each have like, are like each personified, which I think is really cool. But yeah, outside of the like interesting concept, I just wasn't compelled. Okay, this one, I feel like some people are gonna be upset with me. The House on the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I really wanted to love this, y'all. I really did. Everybody, literally everybody was like, you gotta read this one, you'll love it, this is such a you book. And I get that. Like I see why people would think I would love this, but there's just something about the writing in this that I just like could not connect with. I don't know what it is. There's just something about it that felt like it held me at like arm's length, and I just struggled to really connect with the characters, with the story. I don't know what it is. So yeah, I just have to let it go. I've been holding on to it for so long because I'm like, oh, one day I'll like try to read it again and I'll probably like it more. And I just like, I really don't want to. You know, like I really don't feel like reading it again. So I'm so sorry to everybody. I know people love this book so much. It just wasn't for me. I'm very shocked about that. Probably just as shocked as you are. You've Reached Sam. I feel like I'll read this one day, but it'll be by audiobook. And I also just don't feel like crying right now, so I'll let that go. I believe this is like about this girl who she's able to like contact her boyfriend who has passed away by like phone, even though he's dead. It like kind of like lets you go in the past somehow. I think it plays with that a little bit. Kind of gives me like Landline by Rainbow Rowell vibes almost, but like sad. So anyways, I struggle sometimes with depictions of grief in novels, so it's hard for me to like really get myself to like dive into them when I know that that's like the whole premise of the story. So for that reason, I just don't know if I'm gonna ever read this one anytime soon. The Ivory Key, I bought this on a whim, and I literally knew when I was buying it, I'm like, I'm not gonna read this. I'm not gonna read it. It's YA fantasy. I'm not super into YA fantasy right now. Like I'm very picky right now about the YA fantasy that I read, and I haven't heard amazing reviews about this one. So it looks beautiful. The cover looks stunning. I feel like if you're into YA fantasy right now, you probably would really like this one, but I'm just not. So, and I knew it at the time too. I was like, why are you buying this? Like you're not gonna read it. But here I am, owning it, and now unhauling it. So, you know what it was? It was because it was a Barnes & Noble buy one get one thing, and I was like, well, I need to get another one. So, that's the one. Got Foundry Side, which I do actually want to read. I just kind of want like a finished copy. This version has some like printing issues, so it's nothing to do with the book. I just simply need a different edition. Vespertine, Margaret Rogerson. I started reading this one. I just don't think that we jive, me and Margaret. I just didn't love the writing. So yeah, I mean, Sorcery of Thorns, I really dislike that book, as some of you know. So I don't know why I thought I would love this one and why I held on to it for so long, because I've also been holding on to this since 2021. So yeah, time to let this one go. Isn't it just the way that as soon as I'm in the final stretch of the video, my battery dies? Anyways, we're in the last couple of books, and these ones might be surprising, but it is XOXO by Axio. I'm getting rid of this one because I actually got a finished copy of it. This is an advanced copy. I don't need 2 copies, so I'm passing this one along. But this is a really cute contemporary about this girl who goes to Korea and basically has a romance with a K-pop star. It's very adorable. Highly recommend if you are looking for just a cute, fun contemporary. And then I also am going to be getting rid of the Wicked Fox series by Kat Cho, which I really enjoy. This is a great YA fantasy duology. I just have read them and I don't foresee myself rereading them, and my Korean shelf has definitely overflowed quite a bit, so I am trying to like break that down a little bit. It used to be, it's kind of crazy. I remember when the idea of even being able to fill up a shelf in my bookcases of Korean books was just like unbelievable to me, and now I have too many and I can't have that many books, so I am trying to keep that shelf to books that I still need to read versus like hoarding all the ones that I've already read other than like all-time favorites. So I'm passing those ones along also. And that is my big unhaul. I'm very excited to pass these books along and to do some bookshelf reorganizing because that's always quite fun, and I think I want to do maybe a different organizational method with my books. I'm not sure if that's something I'll do before I leave or after. I will have further details on where I'm going and all of that stuff in a future video, but until that day, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Again, I'd love to hear from you all. Are there any of these books that you think I'm making a horrible mistake in giving away? Or I'd love to hear from you guys. What are some books that you've recently unhauled? Let me know in the comments down below, but I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!